Om Sadashiva-Samarambham Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantam Vande
Vande Guru
Guru-Paramparam.
Parampara.
Om
Om
Sahana
Sahana
Bhavatu
Bhavatu.
Sahanau Bhunaktu
Sahaviryam
Sahaviryam
Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadhitamastु
Tejasvinavadhitamastu
Ma Vidvishavahe.
Vidvishavahay.
Om
Om Shanti Shanti
Shanti
Shanti.
Harihi Om
Harihi Om.
Shri Gurubhyo
Gurubhyo
Namaha
Namaha.
Harihi
Harihi
Om
Om.
Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Tat Sat. Om Namah Shivaya.
So last week we completed the second verse. Now let us chant the third verse. So please unmute yourself. Avirodhitaya karma
Avirodhitaya karma
na vidyam vinivartayet.
vidyam vinivartaye.
Vidya vidyam nihantyeva.
Vidyam nihandeva.
Tejastimira sangavat.
Tejastimira sanghavat.
So, since it is not opposed to action, that ignorance is not opposed to action. Ignorance cannot destroy its effects. Knowledge alone can destroy ignorance, as light alone can remove darkness. So let us explain this verse. So this is again given with a beautiful example. So let me explain this verse. So what is opposed to action? What is opposite to action?
Knowledge.
Inaction.
Inaction. Okay. So action is not opposite to ignorance. Okay. So naturally, action cannot destroy ignorance. So karma or action cannot destroy ignorance, as it is not opposed to it. So knowledge or jnanam alone can destroy ignorance, just like darkness is destroyed by light. Darkness and light are opposites. Okay. One cannot exist in the presence of other. Okay. So when darkness is there, light is not there. When light is there, darkness is not there. So by means of action, what do we do? Why do we do karma? We all do karma, isn't it? There is a purpose to it.
Karma, dharma.
There is a purpose. What is that purpose? Artha, kama, moksha, whatever it is. So in order to fulfill our desires, we do karma. So what is the purpose of attending this class? To get jnanam, to destroy ignorance, and to get moksha, isn't it? So desire, moksha is also a desire. Mumukshutvam is also a desire. Although it is considered to be a desirable desire, sattvic desire. But ultimately, it will also have to go. It has to go. Okay, that we will discuss later. So, by karma, by means of action, we fulfill our desires. Therefore, action is in harmony with ignorance. And it is not opposed to ignorance. Because of our ignorance, we do karma. We think that by doing karma, I can fulfill this, fulfill that. So action cannot directly destroy it. Here, what we mean by ignorance, ajnanam, that is not knowing the real nature of Atman or Brahman. Brahman is the only true knowledge. That is the absolute truth. Everything else is ignorance, ajnanam. I consider myself to be this body, this mind, this sense complex. I consider this world to be real. These are all what? It is all ajnanam, ignorance or avidya. So only jnanam, that knowledge of that jnanam of Atman or Brahman can remove the ignorance. Just like darkness is destroyed by light. Is there any other way that we can remove the darkness? Suppose there is darkness, we bring a Vidwan, highly educated person, Vidwan, Pandit. Will the darkness be removed? No. There is no other way. There is only one way, that is to bring light. So only light can destroy darkness. So all the sadhanas that we do are karmas. What are the sadhanas? Karma yoga. Dedicating the actions to the Lord and accepting the results as prasadam from the Lord. That is karma yoga. Then we do upasana yoga, that is bhakti, aradhana, puja, arti, etc. That is also a karma. And ashtanga yoga, we do pranayam, asanas, pratyahara, other things, ashtanga yoga. They are also karma only. They all come under karma. So Shankaracharya says that all these karmas can never give moksha. Why? Because karma cannot remove ignorance. It is not opposed to ignorance. Like light is opposed to darkness, or darkness is opposed to light. What can give moksha? Jnanam only can give moksha, because jnanam removes ignorance, avidya. So karma avidyam na nivartayet. Karma cannot remove ignorance. We have repeated again and again and again just to instill that in our mind. So what is the logic? Avirodayat. Avirodayataya. Avirodataya. Because karma is not opposed to ignorance. One can remove the other one only if two are opposites, enemies, virodhi. So, for example, darkness and light. When there is darkness, there cannot be light. When there is light, there cannot be darkness. Similarly, heat and cold. When heat is there, cold will not be there. When cold is there, heat will not be there. So, Vedanta Shastram says, because of ignorance, each one of us, we don't know that I am paripurna aham. I am complete in myself. So what happens? Because of that, since I do not know that I am paripurnaham, I am complete, myself is complete, I become parichinna aham, a limited I. I limit myself to this world, to this body, to this mind, to these senses. As a paripurnaham, as a complete self, I am akarta. I cannot do anything. And I need not do anything because I don't have any desires. I don't have any karma. Why do we do karma? Because we want to fulfill. We feel insecure. We feel incomplete. So in order to make us feel complete, we do actions. We earn money, we save, we buy good house, we buy a car, we develop relationships. Why? Because of this insecurity, because of this incompleteness, we feel we depend upon other things, other people for our to complete us. For our completeness, we depend upon others or other things. So this is only due to ignorance. When we are complete, when as a Brahman, as an Atman, I am complete, but we are not aware of that because of ignorance, avidya or ajnana. So as a complete paripurna aham, I become akarta. I cannot do anything. I don't have to do anything because I don't have any karma, kama or desire. Even if I want to do karma, I cannot. Because why? Because I am sarvagataha, avikaraha. You know, the nature of Brahman, we know that omnipresent, all pervading, etc. So when I don't know my original nature, the Purnaham, the completeness is mistaken as Apurnaham, incomplete one. Once I become Apurnaham, incomplete one, I end up in desires. Because as an incomplete I want to complete myself. How I do it? By getting pravritti dharma or nivritti dharma. Okay? I do actions in order to fulfill my desire so that my incompleteness is removed. My insecurity is removed. I feel falsely, I feel that I am complete. Because that person is there, my life has become complete. Because of that thing, my life is complete. Because of money, my security, my job, my relationship, my properties, my things, whatever I want, I feel secure. I feel complete. This false notion happens because of our ignorance. So ignorance, this ajnanam or avidya creates apurnatvam, a sense of limitation. This apurnatvam, incompleteness, creates kama, desire. Because I feel incomplete, I want to do something in order to fulfill, in order to complete myself. That creates desire. And this desire creates what? Karma. Because of desire, I go and do action. Therefore, we can say that cause of karma, the cause of action is what? Desire, kama. And what is the cause of kama? Is apurnatvam, that incompleteness, insecurity. And what is the cause of this apurnatvam? It is avidya. So karma, therefore, reinforces kama, and kama reinforces ajnana. Therefore, more a person is active, the more ignorance is reinforced. The more action we do, the more karma we do, we reinforce this ignorance. This ignorance is reinforced. Every action we do is only reinforcing our ignorance, because I don't know my real nature. I do everything else without finding the real nature of myself. I do everything else to fulfill me, to make me complete. It only reinforces the ignorance, all the karmas that we do. That is why it is said that karma bandhaya bhavati and vidya mokshaya bhavati. Karma binds us and jnanam releases us, gives liberation. Therefore, avirodataya, since they are not enemies, this karma and ignorance, avidyam na vinivartayet. Knowledge alone will remove ignorance. And what is the beautiful example? Tejaha simira sangavat. Just like light alone can remove pitch darkness. Light alone removes pitch darkness. That is the explanation of this verse. We'll pause for a minute. Any questions you may please ask. No questions. Understood, no? Okay. Clear?
Yes, Acharya ji.
Very
Yes,
good.
Acharya ji.
Next. Fourth verse. Please unmute. Parichinna iva jnanat
परिच्छिन्न इव
परिच्छिन्नैव
ज्ञानात्
ज्ञानात्
तन्नाशे सति केवलः
तन्नाशे सति
सति केवलः
स्वयं प्रकाशते ह्यात्मा
स्वयं
स्वयं
प्रकाशते
प्रकाशते
ह्यात्मा
आत्मा
मेघापायेषु मानिव
मेघापायेषु
मेघापायेषु
मानिव
परिच्छिन्न इव ज्ञानात् तन्नाशे सति केवलः स्वयं प्रकाशते ह्यात्मा मेघापायेषु मानिव
परिच्छिन्न इव
ज्ञानात्
ज्ञानात्
तन्ने
सति
सति
केवलः
केवलः
स्वयं
प्रकाशते
प्रकाशते
आत्मा
ह्यात्मा
मेघापायेषु
मेघापायेषु
मानिव
मेघापायेषु
So appearing as finite, as limited because of ignorance, when ignorance is removed or destroyed, then alone does the self reveal its own nature. The nature of self is revealed when the ignorance is destroyed. Just like a sun is revealed when the clouds pass away. Another beautiful practical example, Shankaracharya explains with the beautiful explanation of sun and the cloud. Now let us understand this. So just like sun is revealed when clouds pass away. Because of ajnanam or ignorance or avidya, we impose limitations to Atma. Okay. What are the limitations that we impose? Anyone can try. Simple.
Balam,
Limitations. Upadhis. Limiting adjuncts.
May I try?
Yes, please.
That we are body, we have birth and death. I am
Yes.
happy and sad.
Absolutely. So we put limitations to Atma. How? I means this body. I means Manshi. I means this mind. I means the senses. So that is the limitation we impose. Why it is done? Because of ajnanam, ignorance. So when this ajnanam is destroyed, then Atma can be realized. Just like sun appears emerging when dark clouds are dispersed. So sun is shining all the time. We say, today sun has not come out. Is it a fact? Sun is always shining. It is only the clouds that have covered it. So, just like the true nature of sun is hidden by a cloud, the true nature of the eternal and self-luminous Atma is hidden by ignorance. Atma is always shining, just like sun is always shining. But we say today sun has not come. Today it is very dark. Sun is not shining. Is it a fact? No. If a child says it is because of ignorance, okay, the child doesn't know that sun is shining all the time, 24/7. Similarly, Atma is self-luminous. It is always shining. But what is covered? It is covered by the cloud called ignorance, avidya. So, because of this ignorance, the Sarvagata Atma, all pervading Atma, appears to be a limited one, finite being. It appears to be finite. Such ignorance is destroyed by means of what? Nididhyasanam, contemplation, and realization of the truth that are said in the Mahavakyas like Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma. Mahavakyams, they reveal this only. And our duty is to learn, think it over, and meditate upon it, which we call Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. All of you are aware, na? Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam.
Yes.
Yes. So Shravanam is Ajnana Nivritti, removal of ignorance by learning, studying scriptures. Now what we are doing is Shravanam. Then what is Mananam?
Thinking it over again and again.
Samshaya Nivritti, removal of doubt. Analyze it, think it over, ask questions. Don't accept anything blindly. Just because scriptures say you don't have to accept blindly. Some religions say that you cannot question, you have to accept it. But our scriptures say, our dharma says that you question everything. You satisfy yourself, you question the fundamentals. That is samshaya nivritti. Your doubts are removed by mananam. And finally, nididhyasanam, contemplation on that whatever we have learned. That viparyaya nivritti. Our habitual thinking patterns will have to go. What are the habitual thinking patterns? I am a man. I am so and so. I am this body. Okay. Ahankara and mamakara. This is my house. This is mine. I am this. Ahankara and mamakara. So these can be, so ignorance can be destroyed by means of this Ravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. And doing Nididhyasanam on the Mahavakyams like Aham, Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, Prajnanam Brahma, etc. So we have understood now it is only ignorance that makes itself feel limited. We feel limited, we feel finite. But in reality, what we are, the truth is the self is limitless. The self is, Atma is infinite. So the identification with the body, mind, or intellect, they are known as the upadhis, no, limiting adjuncts. These limitations, they cause one to feel very restrained and limited. So what are these limitations? First one is space limitation. limited in space. The pure self, Atman, is defined as what? Sarva Vyapi or omnipresent. Because of the identification with the body, okay, we feel it is Alpa Vyapi. That is limited. Instead of Sarva Vyapi, omnipresent, we feel that it is Alpa. I am confined to what? I means what? I am only this body, 6 feet height, so much pound of weight, color, whatever it is. So we limit ourselves, our true self, to this upadhi, this space, by wrongly identifying with the body. So we put a limitation to the self, Atma. So this is limited in space. Okay. It is only here. I am not everywhere. I am only confined to my body. That is limitations in space. Limitation in time. The self, Atma, is eternal. Nitya, we know. But we don't experience this as our true nature because we are limited in time by the upadhis. We think that we are born and we will die. My existence is limited to this period only. A period of 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, whatever our lifespan is. So we limit ourselves to this time. So time is a mental concept that is superimposed on the self. Atma is eternal. It is ever present. It is never born. It never dies. But we have put this limitation. We have superimposed because of our ignorance by these upadhis. So time, we can say, a mental concept superimposed on the self. And therefore we feel we are anitya, impermanent, instead of our true nature which is nitya, permanent. So we are suppressed by the idea that we have a temporary existence only. I am born, there is a birth date and there will be a expiry date. One day I will die. Even though we don't wish to die, okay, because the fear of death exists in everyone. Patanjali Maharishi says, among the 5, you have studied that, avidya. In that, finally, what comes?
Abhinivesha.
Avinivesha. Fear of death. Everyone fears death. Everyone fears death. But we do not know, because of our ignorance, that our true self is deathless. So this concept is again and again and again reinforced in Bhagavad Gita, that Atma is Nitya, permanent. There is no death for the Atma. So this is limitation in time. We studied limitation in space, limited in space, limited in time. Now limited in body. The pure self, Atma, is also limited to one object. Okay? It is Sarva Atman. But because of identification with one body only, we feel limited and we are suppressed or threatened by all other bodies or objects around us. We see them as not as. Whatever we see it as an outside object. It is not us. So we experience this limitation of being Mama Atman instead of Sarva Atman. Everything is Atman that we don't realize. We restrict ourselves to this particular body, this self. In reality, we are Sarva Atman. So ignorance has caused all these problems. It has prevented us from knowing ourselves, knowing our true nature. In order to understand our original nature, what we have to do? We have to attain the knowledge of who we really are. Then what happens? Ignorance will get automatically destroyed, because knowledge is in direct opposition to the ignorance of I am the body. So now we have clearly understood that ignorance, ajnanam or avidya, is the cause of samsara. Samsara is what? Samsara is a sense of limitation. My body, my house, my family, the limitation, that is samsara. So this sense of limitation cannot be removed by any other means. Okay. We are all subject to shadvikara, changes. Our body, it goes through 6 stages: asti, jayate, vardate, parinamate, etc. We studied in Atma Bodha. Okay. So how do we get moksha? We'll get moksha by going to someone who is muktaha. Will we get rich by going to someone who is very rich? No, it is not possible. Where is the problem? How do I get moksha? Where is the problem? Problem is samsara. The problem is the I. My whole world revolves around this I. I am this body. I am this mind. I am this sense. I am my relationship, my money, my house, my wealth, my things. So everything is I only, mine only. So since the problem is the I, where must be the solution? The solution must be also in the I only. We think that I am unhappy. That is a problem. I am so small. I am limited. I have limitations. That is a problem. I am frustrated. I am worried. I am depressed. That is a problem. Then we think that I am immortal. I am mortal. I may die at any time. This life is temporary. That is another problem. So all the problems are lying where? On this I. I have to complete me. Okay. Because I think I am incomplete. We do everything to complete ourselves, to get that false notion of security and completeness. We do action. Because we do not know the real nature of me, that is, I am complete, aham purnaha. We feel that I am apurna. So, an incomplete I, apurna aham, cannot be made into complete I, purna aham, by any method. Okay? Because no any process of change cannot become complete. No process can complete the incomplete as complete. The incomplete cannot become complete by any means, any process of change. Shankaracharya says that if you are incomplete, then there is no hope. Where is the question of completing yourself? Okay, you will always remain as incomplete only. So, but what is our real nature? We are complete. We are already complete, but we are not aware of it because of ignorance. Because of this ajnanam, avidya, we have this feeling, we have this notion that we are incomplete. This incompleteness, apurnatvam, is a notion. It's a feeling caused by ignorance. And if that is the cause, then there is a solution. Because the real nature is Purnatvam, completeness, there is a solution. The ignorance can be removed and completeness can be attained. Okay. So we said that because of ignorance, there is a sense of limitation. And this alone is the cause of samsara. Samsara means what? All these problems, all this pain, all this suffering. Okay. In other words, in Sanskrit, dukkam, pain, sorrow. What is the solution? Dukkha nivritti, removal of the sorrow. And it is possible by what? By what? Paricheda nivritti. Removal of that limitation, sense of limitation. And this paricheda nivritti is possible by ajnana nivritti. How do we remove the sense of limitation? By ajnana nivritti, by removing the ignorance. So Shankaracharya says that samsara or pain or sorrow or suffering is nothing but a sense of limitation only. So in normal case, what happens generally, we say that sorrow is a mental pain caused by loss of someone or something. Okay. Let us take a loss of someone, a death of someone, or loss of money, property, or loss of health. They cause pain. So let me ask you a question. Does death cause pain?
Not to the observer.
Any other answer?
To the near and dear one.
Once you're dead, I don't think the pain is there. So
Okay. Death causes pain when they are near and dear ones. That is the exact answer. Because death is happening all around us. Every day, thousands and thousands of people are dying because of earthquake, because of war, because of terrorist attacks. No, so many because of illness, because of several things, accidents. But do we cry over it? Because that person has died. So many people, in thousands have died in the earthquake in the nearby continent or country. Do we cry? We watch the news, we read, see that thousands have perished, but we eat our dinner. That doesn't affect us. Why? Because they are not near and dear one. There is no attachment to that. Okay. So Vedanta says that sorrow, pain is not caused by death of the person, particular person at all. Because if the death of a person should cause sorrow, death of everyone should cause us sorrow. We should be in pain all the time. We should suffer all the time. It is all because of our relationship. So we think that that person is important to me. That person makes my life complete. That person is essential in my life for me to be happy, for me to be complete. Okay. So we think that in the presence of that person, I am complete. Then I don't. So sorrow is not caused by death. Sorrow is caused by this attachment. Okay? Something we miss. The person may be our father, husband, wife, child, uncle, whatever it is. Because of that, we become sad. It causes us pain. Similarly, loss of property, loss in business, loss of money, they also cause us pain. Loss of health, some major disease comes, then they also cause sorrow, pain. So sorrow is parichedaha. It is a limitation. So what Vedanta says, the first and foremost revelation is, the truth is that sorrow is not anything else, but only a sense of limitation. Because we have limited ourselves. Okay? Because we have limited ourselves, we feel this sorrow, pain. And because of this sense of limitation, and this sense of limitation only, it alone expresses itself in the form of various symptoms. Samsara is therefore parichedaha, and that is what we call incompleteness or apurnatvam. So we should never blame anyone for our sorrow. Normally, generally, our tendency is that whenever we face any problem, we tend to blame someone or some situation. Because of that situation, I am in this position. Because of that person, I am in this situation. I am suffering. Some reason or other we find. Except our own self, we will blame everything. When we realize that the problem is centered on us, then only it will be clear that solution also has to be within me. Because the problem lies within me, and the solution also will have to be there only. So second point is that this sense of limitation, which causes sorrow, is caused by ignorance. So this again and again we have said, this is the cause. Ignorance is the cause. And why do we say that? We say that because our true nature to be is, what is our true nature is? Completeness, purnatvam. This incompleteness, apurnatvam, is nothing but ignorance, self-forgetfulness, without knowing the our real nature. Okay? You can call it self-loss, self-forgetfulness. And therefore Shankaracharya says, Ajnanat parichinna iva. This alone is the definition of samsara. Samsara will go away when paricheda will go. The limitations go away. The samsara will also go away. When paricheda, this limitation goes away, ajnanam goes away. When ajnanam goes, this sense of limitation, paricheda, goes away. When the paricheda limitation goes away, samsara will go away. So, how do we make this ajnanam go away? By getting jnanam. When jnanam comes, ajnanam goes. Just like when the light comes, darkness goes. So, nididhyasanam and Brahman is to be done. Contemplation. There is no other way. So, moksha means what? Liberations means what? It is nothing but getting out of this sense of limitation, paricheda. Therefore, moksha is not any mysterious state. It is not going to some loka, or suddenly there will be a blind this flash. No, there will be a hollow around your head. No, it is nothing like that. It is no mystical experience. No, just like there is a light explodes and we get jnanam. liberation. No, nothing changes. It is not a change in the physical body or anything. Okay. So when we become mukta hai, when a person becomes mukta hai, the person does not become abnormal. Nothing happened. Normal person, he or she is a normal person. What is the difference? Okay. When that person looks at himself or herself, the person does not miss anyone or anything. Okay. If people are around, people shower love, the person will enjoy the company, the love, etc. If the people goes away, people go away, the person will not miss anyone. If they are there, fine. If they are not there, again fine. Okay. So there is a story they narrate, a monk. So a person asked a self-realized monk, sir, before this realization moksha, what were you doing? He said that I was cutting wood for the ashram and fetching water for the ashram. Now after this realization, after getting moksha, what are you doing? I am cutting woods and fetching water for the ashram. So what do we learn from this? Nothing changes. The person goes on living a normal life, but the attitude, the tendency, the outlook has changed. I can live with things. I can live without things. I can live without missing anything. When we reach this stage, then we are called liberated. A liberated person, a jnani, is this only. The person does not miss anything or anyone. So, moksha is nothing but removal of the notion that one is limited, paricheda. And any notion is removed by right knowledge. A notion arises because of false knowledge. Therefore, moksha means firm conviction that aham purnaha. And no one and nothing can add to my fullness. And no one can remove anything from my fullness. Purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate. It is always full. Nobody can add anything to that to make it full, or nobody can remove it to make it incomplete. Okay. And when once this ajnanam is gone, avidya is gone, ignorance is gone, what happens? Swayam prakasate yatma. Atma being the Swarupa Chaitanyam, Swayam Prakasa Chaitanyam. Atma shines by itself. It is self-evident. Swayam Prakasate Atma. Just like sun is revealed, sun starts shining once the clouds are removed. When the clouds go away, sun shines. We don't have to use a torch or light to look at the sun. It is self-luminous. Similarly, the Swarupa Chaitanyam Atma is Swayam Prakasat. It is self-illuminate, self-luminous. It shines by itself. We don't look at the sun with the help of a torch. Okay. Similarly, Atma shines by itself. It is self-evident. Swayam Prakasate Atma. So each one of us has this paricheda imposed upon us or thrown upon us, limitation. The I should have no qualifications. It should be an unqualified I, without adding anything, without adding my name, without adding my body, without adding my mind, without adding my intellect. the I should be unqualified. So the moment we add qualification to the I, it becomes a disqualification in Vedanta, because Atma is Nirguna. So if you remove the qualification, then what happens? Only the pure I will remain. And that I is called Atman or Brahman. So Brahman is not another adjective, or it is not another qualification. When all the qualifications are gone, I am Brahman. Then we realize that Aham Brahmasmi. So Shankaracharya gives this beautiful example of sun and the cloud. Mega paye amshuman iva. It's a beautiful example. Amshuman means Surya, the sun which is Swayam Prakashaha, self-luminous. So when during rainy season or some cloudy atmosphere, it is covered by clouds, and that sun appears to be not shining. The light of the sun appears dull or not visible at all. Now wind blows, breeze comes and removes the cloud. Then what happens? The non-shining sun becomes the shining sun. In making the sun a shining sun, what is the contribution of the wind? The wind removed only the clouds. Wind never added any shine or light to the sun. The wind can never give shining or give light to the sun, because the sun is Swayam Prakasha, self-luminance. The Aham Brahmasmi Vritti is the wind, and the cloud is the Ajnanam. Aham Brahmasmi Vritti removes Ajnanam, the cloud. And Surya is I, the Atman, which is always shining. That is an explanation, a long explanation, but explained with a beautiful example of sun and the cloud. So is it clear? Any doubts? No doubt. So we have few minutes. We cannot complete the next verse, but we can chant. If you don't have any questions, we can just chant, and in the next class we will explain the meaning of this 5th verse. Fine with you?
Yes.
Okay. Ajnana kalusham jiva
Ajnanakalusham jivam
jnanabhyasad vinirmalam
Jnanabhyasad
Nirmalam.
kritva jnanam swayam nashye
Krutva
Jnanam swayam nashye.
jalam katakarenuvat.
Jalam
Katakarenuvat.
So, made dirty by ignorance, the self is purified by constant practice of knowledge. Upon the dawn of knowledge, it itself is destroyed as the Kataka nut. There is a nut called Kataka nut powder, settles with the dirt in water. So the explanation will give in the next class. Basically the Jivatma, the embodied soul, is made dirty by ignorance. Just like a dust covers our face becomes dirty. Okay. And how do we purify it? How do we remove it? we remove it by cleaning it with water or soap, etc. So similarly, the Jivatma covered by dirt of ignorance is purified by what? Knowledge,
Jnanam.
jnanam, through long and uninterrupted meditation on Brahman. Okay. Then that itself disappears as the powder of Kataka nut. Okay. That we will explain in the next class. The dirt itself is removed. The ajnanam is removed. The dirt of ignorance is removed. It is purified by knowledge. So the meaning we will explain in the next class. So any doubt related to these particular verses or any other doubt in general also you can ask, because we have a couple of minutes left out. Okay. If there are no doubts, then we'll say final prayers and complete our class. Om Sarve Bhavantu
Bhavantu
Sukhina,
Sukhinah,
Sarve
Sarve
Santu
Santu Niramayah,
Niramaya, Sarve
Sarve
Bhadrani
Bhadrani
Pashyantu,
Pashyantu,
Ma Kaschid
Ma
Kaschid
Kashid
Bhave,
Bhavet,
Bhave
Asato Ma
Asato Ma
Sadgamaya,
Sadgamaya,
Tamaso
Tamaso
Ma
Ma
Jyotirgamaya,
Jyotirgamaya,
Mrityorma
Mrityorma Amadam
Gamaya.
Gamaya.
Om
Om
Purnamada
Namada Purnamidam
Idam
Purnat
Purnamudachyate
Purnamudachyate
Purnasya
Purnasya
Purnamadaya
Purnamadaya
Purnamevavashishyate.
Purnamevavashishyate. Om
Om
Shanti
Shanti Shanti
Shanti
Shanti.
Harihi
Hari
Om
Harihi
Om
Shri
Shri
Gurubhyo Namah
Gurubhyo
Namaha.
Namah
Harihi
Harihi
Hari
Om.
Om
Om Tat Sat Om Namah
Om
Shivaya.
Tat Sat
Thank
Om
you.
Namah Shivaya.
Thank you, Acharya ji.
Thank you, Acharya ji.